Hi everybody, my name is Dominic Palazzolo and I'm the owner of Marvelous Molds, and like I've always promised you, I've got something new to show you, okay? And keep in mind that the holidays are coming, so this is our Christmas holiday new product video. So I have products that I'm going to show you, things that we've been working on, and I just want you to know that the first thing I show you is incredible, but then the second thing I show you is going to be even better, and then the third thing I show you is going to be better than that. So just stick with me here and let me take you through this whole sequence of new products and new ways to use our products, okay? All right, so in the past, I introduced the Flexibet line, okay, and it's our way of being able to produce letters. But not only can we create letters easily and very quickly, but we can put entire phrases on a cake. So here, as you can see, we have a Merry Christmas Flexibet. So what I want to do is I want to show you just how fantastic this looks on a cake and how easy you can put this phrase perfectly spaced on a cake in one shot, okay? So I have my edible glue here and I'm just wiping off a little bit because the secret to edible glue is that you really want to put it on thin, okay? That doesn't mean, spotty, but you want to put it on thin. And by putting it on thin, the glue tacks up very quickly. And that's what we need. We need this glue to help us transfer these letters to the surface of a cake. Okay? So I'm just painting it, making sure I got everything covered. And I'm just going to pull off the excess that I don't want on the cake. Now I have rolled out my fondant ahead of time before I came on here to the perfect thickness. I like to use a pasta machine or any type of sheeter. And now what I'm going to do is I am just going to take out the centers of all of these letters because I don't want to put that on the cake. This is the typewriter style of Flexibet. Okay, so I've got all the centers out, and now what I'm going to do is, it's a good time to remember that this is silicone, so we can stretch Merry Christmas. And if you look, what I do is I push from the back and I make those letters pop, and that gets some air behind the letters, and that's really going to help me make a transfer. So let's bring over a cake. Let me get that centered, and let me show you how this amazing tool works. Now, a lot of you know about the Flexibets, but some of you don't, okay? I mean, you can put happy birthday on a cake, congratulations. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to hold our Flexibet, and I can see through it, and I'm just going to kind of float it around. And you know what? I want Merry Christmas right in the middle of this cake, and I'm going to drop it right down just like that. And I'm going to push down. Now let me ask you a question. What if this was a buttercream cake, not covered in fondant, okay? Well, you can still use the Flexibet on a buttercream cake, a frosted cake, a ganache cake. Just put it in the refrigerator before you apply the lettering so that those soft icings firm up and the letters will transfer beautifully. You can also let those soft icings crust up. And if you have a nice crust or skin, the letters will transfer beautifully, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm just checking to make sure. Now I got to tell you, You might think the best way to take this off would be to do it slowly, but I want you to take it off like a Band-Aid. I learned a Band-Aid in England is called a plaster, okay? But you want to just take that off quick, just like that. And there you have it. Merry Christmas. Perfect, okay? Absolutely perfect on the cake. You didn't have to put all those letters. You didn't have to cut them out individually. Now, if you want to put Merry Christmas around the perimeter of the cake, or maybe you want to do it around the cake drum, well then just consider this the best Merry Christmas cutter out there, because you can follow along with the process, make all your letters, and then just unmold them all at once without gluing them, and then you can place them. All right, so let me show you some variations, okay? Here we have a different style, and I'm just going to take off my excess here that I don't want on the cake. You probably noticed that I just glued the whole thing. Highly recommend that, because have you ever glued letters one by one? It's an absolute nightmare. A lot of cake decorators think that if they glue all the letters at once and they get some glue on their fondant, that they have ruined their fondant, okay? I really want to tell you that that's not true. Just take your fondant, roll it up. That edible glue is not going to hurt your fondant at all. Remember this, there's nothing in edible glue, whether you make it or you buy it, that isn't already in your fondant. There's water, there's glucose or corn syrup, there's gums, there's sugar. And so you just work it in, and that way you can really take advantage of gluing all of these letters, having the letters ready to transfer onto a cake, and they're glued perfectly and quickly. Okay, now this is the calligraphy style, and as you can see, I'm just doing the same thing, kind of stretching and pushing the letters a little bit. You know, they kind of dance, they jump out just a little, and that's really great. We get some air behind it. Okay, let's bring in another festive cake, and let's see what Happy Holidays looks like on a cake. So once again, I'm just going to center it. Just going to drop it down, and I'm just going to work that. I'm just going to rub it lightly so that it bonds with the surface of the cake. Once you get complete contact, you just grab the edge, just kind of check it, make sure that the letters are sticking, and then once again just take it right off, and there is Happy Holidays. Perfect. So if you like that, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me show you something. Let me show you what you can do with this simple but versatile tool. Just gonna pull off my excess. Okay, gonna take out the centers of my letters, just like that. Now, you know, if a letter pops out, just get it to sit right back down in there. Okay, yeah, just getting that B to sit back down in there. Okay, again, gonna stretch. And what I'm going to do, I hope it works on camera. I do this at shows all the time, and people find it really, really fascinating. All right, let me bring in a turntable here, and I'm going to bring that cake back. Okay. Happy Holidays on the side of a cake. All right, let's give that a go. So now I'm doing this backwards. You know, you'd be working like this, right? You'd be working like this, nice and comfortable. But I'm doing it backwards so that you can see it. So if it's not exactly level, you know, I'm sure you'll forgive me. But we're going to put it on there. Okay. See that? Now look, see? It sticks. All right. And then we're just going to rub it. Now, don't rub too hard. Just really try to rub over the letters. All right? Okay. And I think I've got everything. I'm giving it a check on the 4 corners, and I'm feeling confident. Ready? Boom. There. Happy holidays on the side of a cake. Can you imagine what you'd have to go through in order to do something like that? So this is a silicone mold, and it's the only one of its kind in the world that enables you to do work like this. Okay? Now, I know that a lot of you, maybe this is the first time you're hearing about a FlexiBet, and I just want you to know that if you're watching on YouTube, if you look down at the description, I've got a link where you can actually go to my online class, okay? And we really go into detail about how to use the FlexiBets, all right? If you're on my website, on the page where this video is, you'll also find that link. You can always go to videos at marvelousmolds.com. Just look for FlexiBets, and I'll be right there ready to show you how to use this, okay? So I hope you like that, but I got to tell you, that's not the most exciting thing I've got to show you. I'm really wanting to get into the next section because I've got some really great stuff. All right, so we're going to get reset, and I'm going to show you something really cool. Okay, I'm back. I've been waiting. I just could not wait to show you this next segment. Okay, I want you to know that I discovered this by accident at a show, and anyway, I think you're going to find it really exciting. First of all, let me introduce the Classic Knit Simpress. This is a cake panel maker. A lot of you have bought a lot of these, okay? We came out with a whole line of knit about a year ago in November of last year, and boy, it has just really caught on worldwide. If you haven't used any of the knit, just let me show you why this is so popular. And I'm going to show you a trick, and I think you're really going to like it. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sheet out some fondant, and then I'm going to put my Simpress down onto the fondant and use it as a template. All right? So I hope you can see that I made a nice rectangle there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that rectangle out. All right? Now, whenever I show this in a demonstration at a show, people love it. All right? Okay, now I'm going to bring in one of the holiday FlexiBets, all right? And just give it a stretch, making sure we're going to get good transfer. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to center this onto the panel, all right? And it's very important that you apply your lettering now. All right, you'll understand as I go a little deeper into this segment, but it's very important that it reads Merry Christmas or whatever message you want to communicate. Okay, we're just going to pull off the FlexiBet. And now, we're going to bring in the Classic Knit, and I am going to turn the side with the phrase down, and I am going to put this down into my Classic Knit Simpress. And then I am going to press. Now, with the side that has the phrase on it down in the sim press, it's backwards, okay? So it can be confusing when you're doing this. Just remember, assemble your phrase right side up and then turn the panel down into the sim press, okay? And then when you unmold, it'll be right side up again and it'll be readable. Okay, so I'm just really going to make sure that I'm getting full reproduction of this beautiful texture. So we can turn it over and take a look at it and make sure that everything is good. I don't want to show you yet. I don't want to show you until I put it on a cake. So what I'm going to do is get some glue. You can also use shortening. Now, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you like to use when applying things to a cake. I've got edible glue, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to apply that on the back just like that. Okay, I'm going to just take this aside. And we're going to bring in my dummy cake. I think that's kind of bright, but okay. Now, the Simpress is a fondant panel maker, and what it does is it adheres to a method where instead of rolling fondant out and covering an entire cake by draping it over and going through what can sometimes be very difficult, what we do is we cover a cake by paneling it, okay? So that's what this does, all right? This is a cake panel maker, and you can also apply the panel to your cake with the Simpress. Now you'll always be working like this, but now without any more hesitation, I'm just going to apply that, and I can't wait for you guys to see this. Okay, are you ready? There's Merry Christmas. Let's see if we can get a zoom up on this. Merry Christmas on a cake in knit. Okay? That looks unbelievably like a knitted sweater. And if you look at this, it looks as though the lettering was knitted right into the panel itself. So it's a very dramatic way to use a Simpress classic knit and just any one of the Flexibets. You can put happy birthday there. You can put a lot of different messages. You can use our single letter makers and put any kind of message you want, and it'll look like a knitted sweater. So that is one of the cool techniques. Imagine a holiday cake and it's nice and cold outside, and you come in with something like this. It's really going to cause a stir and a lot of excitement. But I'm not done, okay? Let me show you some other ideas, how you can take this idea and we could continue to develop it and make really great cakes, all right? Okay, so I showed you how we can put a phrase and make it a part of a knit panel. And we could put that like a knit texture on a cake. But you know, you don't have to stay with letters or phrases. So let me give you another idea, okay? So I've already got my fondant panel pre-cut. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to apply my cake flakes, okay? And a cake flake is a silicone onlay in the shape of a snowflake. And I really don't think there's anything like it out there. in the cake decorating world where you could create such an intricate pattern and also transfer it onto a cake or onto this fondant panel like I'm doing. So I found out that on a Simpress you can fit 3 cake flakes, and so that's what I'm going to do. And you know, when you get the knack of this, it's really fun to use an onlay. It's kind of amazing because you're just, you can't believe that you can transfer everything so cleanly. Okay, so I'm going to add this last one right in there. It's kind of tight, but I'm sure it's going to look good. And there we have our 3 cake flakes on our panel. And then what we're going to do is the same drill. We're going to take this, I'm going to put it down into the Simpress panel, and then we're going to press and really try to push that panel down into that classic knit texture. Okay. Then we're just going to really push that. Okay. So this just gives you an idea of what you can do. I mean, really, it's up to your own imagination, the different designs that you can come up with. So as you can see, this is just ready to come out. We'll bring our cake close by, and I'm going to get some edible glue on the back of that panel. Okay. So when you're paneling a cake, you can consider this your fondant covering on the cake. So when you look at my dummy cake here, if this was actually just a crumb-coated cake, that would be fine because you're actually putting your fondant exterior onto the cake by paneling. So let's take this baby and let's put it on the cake. And you just start with one side, bring it up against the cake, bring this around, all right? Just press it on there. And then let's do a reveal. And there you go. Really beautiful. Doesn't that look like a Christmas sweater? I can't tell you what kind of excitement you could generate when you come through with cake decorations like this that no one's ever seen before. So this is really kind of a breakthrough in just in a small way where you can take cake decorating in a direction where people haven't seen, and it could be really popular. But if you think I'm done, I got something else to show you, and I've been saving it for last. So let me get set up and then I'll show you that. I'm sure you're going to love it. All right, I have another way of looking at things here. And I know I showed you flexibets. You can put letters in a knit panel, and then we went with the cake flakes, right? But hey, you know what? You can use cutters. Just think how many cutters you have. I mean, any kind of theme that you want to cut out, you can also incorporate into a panel. So what I've done is I've cut a gingerbread man and 2 Christmas trees and some stars, okay? And you know what? That doesn't look so hot. Just wait, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these right into the classic knit Simpress. Now, before, when I was working with my cake flakes and when I was working with the flexibets, I applied glue, and I applied it to a fondant panel, and then remember I turned that down, okay? Well, here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I don't like grabbing these thin pieces of fondant and trying to glue the back and then placing them where I need them, all right? We can do it a lot easier by just putting these cutouts directly into the Simpress. So I'll just take my gingerbread man and I'm just going to center him in there, okay? Then I'll take my 2 Christmas trees and we'll put them maybe right about there. Right about there. Okay. Let's try to make this nice. Then we're going to put a star right above the Christmas tree. And we got another star for the other one. We're going to put them right there. But you know, we're doing Christmas, but this can be unicorns. Okay, this could be baby items. You could make a baby shower cake using the cutters that you already have and just the classic knit Simpress. All right, so I'm going to take my light blue fondant panel and I'm going to put that right on top. Okay, and now I'm just going to press down into my Simpress. And when you're doing this, you can feel those cutouts. You can feel them, and just ignore them. Just push them along with your fondant right down into that perfectly knitted floor of your Simpress, okay? Now, let me share a secret with you. If you really want to get maximum detail out of my molds or anybody's molds, keep your fingers there just a little bit longer while you're applying constant pressure. When you do that, you're going to actually feel the fondant moving into the details that you want to capture. Okay, so that looks really great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my glue. Okay, to the back, and we're going to put this panel on, and I wish I could see your reaction when I put this panel onto the cake. Okay, let's bring this over. Okay, and all right, let's get the camera focused on the front. There we go. And then let's just simply go through the moves. We're going to bring our Simpress, put one side on the cake, and then we're going to bring it around and press it down and give it a nice rub. Of course, this is coming right off, and boom, there you have it. What do you think of that? Go ahead and back out a little bit, Ben, and yeah, isn't that something? Now, that's just my use of cutters. All I'm trying to do is give you the kinds of ideas. These are starter ideas. I'm sure that you can take everything that I showed you and come up with something that's even better. What I like doing is providing you with the tools, okay, with the ability to create these festive, wonderful cakes for the holidays. So what we've done is we've made some cakes that just to kind of give you an idea of taking this concept and what it looks like on finished cakes. And so, here we have all the different applications and we've kind of put different panels on cakes. So that'll give you an idea how great this is. I hope you enjoyed watching these new ideas. I hope that it's given you something that you might be able to use through the holidays. So if you like what you saw here, as I always do, I invite you to go to marvelousmolds.com and check out all of our wonderful molds. And you know what? We're coming out with new products. It's just going to blow your mind. And you will find out the moment we release them if you join our newsletter, which you can join at the bottom of any of our pages. Of course, you could always join our YouTube channel. Everything is under the name of Marvelous Molds. And I'd really like to thank you. I hope you liked what I showed you. I hope it gave you some ideas. And stay tuned because we're coming out with more. And thanks again.